Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at BNB. We were initially tracking this move down as a five-wave move, but there seems to have been a extension within this last wave here, so we're going to have to reevaluate things. But before we jump into that, first I'd like to say thank you for watching, and if you'd like to show your support, please smash that like button if you're enjoying the content. Also, why not subscribe if you haven't already? Just click on the button and then you'll be kept up to date with videos that we have coming out, and also hit that bell notification. Okay, so let's jump into the price action. So first thing first, we were looking at the previous move that we were looking at was like this as a 1, 2, we were looking down into this 3, 4, and then a 5. So for the most part, this could still be valid and doesn't break any of the rules. Actually, this wave 2 is there. But this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So basically a complex or a flat correction in wave 2, a zigzag in wave 4. Wave 3 is not the shortest, so it doesn't break any rules. So this is possibly still what's playing out, though it's more common that we get the extension in the wave 3, and we're going to go over that now. So if I just throw on this, it is possible that we are actually still within this yellow wave 3 here, actually. Yeah, I'll leave it the color. So this wave 3 that is indicated here. So we could still be within the smaller 5-wave move. And if I just throw a fib onto this move, basically what we would be looking at here is, if I just get it right onto this low, we can see that if I drag this over there. So we've come up just past this 0.5 area, which is fine for the most part. It doesn't really break any rules. We've not crossed this wave 1 up here at this 255.6, so it is still possible that we could be within this structure. If we do cross this wave 1, however, it would invalidate this potential, so we don't want to continue following this structure. We don't want to cross this 255.6. The structure up currently is a bit weird in itself, so there is a few ways of reading it, but basically I wouldn't really want this to be going up much further if this is the case. And what we would potentially want to be looking at here is the fact that what we could have is this maybe as a wave 1, this all as a wave 2, and then we'd be looking to continue to break to the downside to end up in this target area here. If I go down to a smaller time frame, we should be able to see the price target. There we go. This 12, the 212 to this 200 zone. So if we do start to break down from this point, basically what we'd be looking at is this at this is a 5-wave move. There is another way of looking at this move, and we can also count it just as a zigzag. So we'll go over that as a corrective pattern in a second. But what we would want for further evidence that we're actually looking for this target here is to break back below this low point of 220. So if we were looking at this as a potential wave 1 and a wave 2 up to the upside here, what we'd be looking for is confirmation by breaking down below this 226.6 zone. This would then indicate that we are within this wave 3, because this is the most common area that these wave 3s travel to. And then we would be looking towards this lower target. However, the structure within this wave here looks like a 5-wave move. So now we have some issues with this count. If we do start to break down, then fair enough, and then this is our target area, and we'd be looking for an additional 4th and a 5th, looking to target out this 202 to this 192 zone. However, should we look at this slightly different, and like I said, the other way that we had counted it previously, if I just turn this back off for a second, where potentially we have this is a 1, this is a 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And actually what we've completed is a 5-wave move to the downside here. So for this could technically complete this ABC to the downside, and it could have just fallen short, in which case we'd be looking for more of a push to the upside. However, until we take this high point here of 317, it is also possible we have further extension. So this is something we just need to be aware of. We actually, and also if we fail to take this high point here at this 200, and let me get a marker on it quickly up there, 292 zone. So failing to break back above this point could allow for further extension within these waves, and then what we would have is a 1-2, potentially this is a as a third wave, or actually a 1-2, this would be a 1-2 again, and then we'd look to break down. So if that's the case, what we could be arguing is that potentially we finished this 5-wave move here. And if we have finished this 5-wave move here, then we need to look for potential upside. So if I remove this again, remove this, I'll remove this zone here and this high point here, switch it over to the corrective structure. So there's two ways we can look at this. That potentially maybe what we have here is we have this as a B, and a C to the downside. That's playing out at the moment, and basically what this would be is we'd be looking, this is an A wave into this low point, this is a B wave, and we're looking to break down for a C wave. Like I said though, there's a 5-wave move in this, so this either needs to be the beginning or the end of a correction. So we could argue that we have this as A into this point here. All of this is a B wave as a flat correction, so A, B, and a C, and then we're looking to break down. But I don't like the structure on this. So if we look at this move here, there is a bit of overlap between this last bit, and we can see that the 1.618 is here, but we've hit it and we've moved back up above the starting point of that move. So we can't have a fourth and a fifth wave here. So effectively all we have is two 5-wave moves. So if we start to break down from here, then we can argue that perhaps we just have a short third wave here, and that's what's happened, and we look to break down. But otherwise, we'd have to look at the potential that maybe this is actually just a B, and a C to the downside, and what we have is now this is a completed B wave, and we're looking to break down in a 5-wave move to the support zone. So these moves are all reliant on the fact that we hold this 220. If we fail to hold this 220, we would be looking at that first option that we went over. Though, should we look to retrace now, it's possible we could look to retrace into this green box area. So this green box area would basically be a retracement, a fib retracement of this whole entire move to the upside here. And what we'd be looking at is to potentially find support within this zone of this 786 to this 0.5 zone. And with this is not that you can cross below it, but once you start to break the 786, it becomes very unlikely that you're going to continue to the upside. It can happen. For instance, if we have a flat correction, then we would be expecting to come back down much deeper. Though, for the most part, if we're looking for impulsive structure, or at least a B wave generally as a zigzag or something to that effect, then we could be looking towards this zone. We'll have to see how it plays out. So if we do move down towards this, and then we move towards the 0.618 zone, which would be this 32.5, which is a common area, we could technically just fall down here, and this just pretty much touches the 50%. So we could look to make a double bottom here and then move up, though it's likely that, yeah, I mean, it's likely that we're going to come down deeper, because if I throw the stochastics on the 1 hours overboard, the 4 hours overboard, the 8 hours overboard, the daily still has room as far as I'm aware, but it is raising quite quickly. So for the most part, I do think down is the way to go. Now, I'm sort of favoring that 5-wave move, but we just need to be aware of the potential for breakouts of these moves. And this would potentially look to move back into the support zone, and then look to move towards this 274 area. Though, should we break down below this 220 zone, then we would be looking at more evidence that we're heading down for that fifth wave that we had previously indicated. Much the same as this option, I'm just currently tracking. Where is it? Breakout 5. There is also the potential that we have a impulsive structure here. I don't really like the structure, but you can argue that you have a 1, 2. So this would be a 1, a 2, a short third wave, which is still longer than wave 1, a fourth wave triangle within this, and then you have this as an extended fifth wave. So that would be 1, 2, 3, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 up into this high point. And then we'd be looking at this as either a zigzag to the downside, which we talked about, in which case we'd be looking at this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, be looking for that B wave retracement and then another push to the upside. So this correction, if we do move down into this zone here and we manage to hold this 236, then it does allow us for potential additional moves to the upside. Though I don't think it's very likely, we still need to keep a track of it. And this would be looking for that breakout. Whether we hold this 236.8 area is very important. If we don't, then it's possible that we are in some other kind of a correction. And basically what we'd be looking for is a move further down, either to the support zone or breaking this low and looking for that fifth wave low we talked about previously. Should we manage to find support in this zone, then there is potential that we could be looking for a bigger 5-wave move here to the upside. And this is a 1, a 2, looking for this third wave. So this third wave confirmation would only come at 271.3 and would look to target out this area here of 278.5 to 274.0. This could all be part of a bigger 5-wave move, which would be looking at this 298.4 area for confirmation. Once that happened, we would have to reevaluate the waves if that plays out, and then we would be looking for this fourth wave back to the downside and then a fifth wave to the upside again. So this is just a potential breakout count. I don't think it's very likely at this current point, but we need to just keep track of it. My preferred count is still the fact that we are going down. And that's because if we have a look, basically, if I just zoom back out to the 4-hourly here, what I'm looking for here is the fact that my preferred count is that this high here is a B wave high and that we're looking for continuation to the downside. And for the most part, we've been reacting like it so far. And what I was previously tracking is the fact that we could have had this as a bigger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. So confirmation of this 5-wave move would come by dropping below this 159.6, and that would then indicate that we have a bigger third wave, and then all of this move would effectively just be within the third wave. So for the most part, we seem to be tracking this, and if we do get these additional extensions within these waves, it is possible that there are some extensions within here which I haven't got quite right at the moment because it's not apparent. But if we do continue to extend to the downside, this 159.6 zone becomes a very viable target area, because without any additional extensions, we're already coming down towards this 195 zone. So we could, if there is further extension, we could look to potentially push further down. Like I said, though, confirmation only comes by crossing this 160.7 zone. Sorry, 159.6 zone. That's the confirmation of a bigger 5-wave move to the downside. Though this structure at the top here is looking a bit choppy, so we would be expecting at least some additional waves here. This is my primary expectation, is basically that we're going to be heading towards this 212 to this 208 area. From that zone, we'd have to see how we react, if we bounce back up in this fourth wave, or whether we start to form a bigger 5-wave move. Basically, though, if we're looking at the corrective structures, this zone here is a typical B wave rejection. So if we look at this corrective structure, if it does develop somehow like we have it plotted here, it just depends on what the substructures of these waves will become. But that would take us right into that zone, which would then potentially lead us to an additional continuation to the downside here. So we just need to be wary at the moment with this, because there does look like there is a lot of potential for extension within this move. So whether we have a bounce to the upside and then a move down, or just a straight move down, I think we do have some more downside to this. And this structure to the upside, it does have potential, but it's not giving me a lot of confidence. Like I said, if we manage to pull back and find support above this low, or alternatively find support lower down in this green box area, then we could potentially have a better setup for an upward move. Though like I said, with a lot of the coins, there is these potentials, but we have to remember that there are a lot of like Bitcoin and Ethereum do look like they want to at least have another leg to the downside. So this could tie in with this actually being an additional a fifth wave in this move. So, but until we close until we break below these low points, there is still potential for this extension. So we just need to track. Okay, so that's where we're going to leave the video. I think that there's enough information here that people can make an informed decision with where they think things are going. It's very difficult for me to say at this point which way it is going because of the structure and the uncertainty, and sometimes when we get these extensions within the waves, it is very difficult to tell exactly where you are within the move. And it's only once you start to break through certain zones and get a bit more structure that things start to make sense. But we will try to keep you up to date as much as we can whenever we see the moves or the changes in structure. Just want to say appreciate everyone for watching. If you haven't, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave us some feedback in the comment section below. Also down there you will find an affiliate link to BYBIT. This is a great exchange. It's the one we use when we're trading. It allows you to use really good risk management. If you have a proper trading plan and you use the features in there like the fact that you can set up your trade and see your stop loss, take profit, and your liquidation before it's even gone live. You can see how much money you're risking. It really is a great exchange. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Okay, with all that said and done, I hope everyone has a great day. And until we see each other in the next video, take care, everybody.